This is the Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame show on a night in Boston where the Rangers' collective energy tank was running on empty. The goal column reflected the same. 4-0 the final. Bruins over the Rangers. The next to last game of the season for the Blue Shirts. We welcome you into the Delta MSG studios. John Giannone alongside Steve Valiquette. We talked a little before the game. We talked certainly during the game about the challenges and difficulties of getting that tank filled again after expending so much emotion the other night. I think that 60 minutes tonight was indicative of just how difficult that is at this level.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I thought we were going to see some more youthful enthusiasm, but the vets certainly didn't have it going. And it sometimes is very difficult to turn it on after you've been mathematically eliminated. There's definitely a lull. The game almost loses its luster. That's what I saw. It's very difficult to play against the Bruins, too, to create offense, even under the best conditions. It's funny, too. If you look at the Bruins and you see Rask versus Swayman and Halak, the Bruins play almost two different types of hockey when Rask is in the net versus those two guys. The Bruins give up a lot of scoring chances when Rask is in net, fifth most in the NHL. When it's Swayman or Halak, it's fifth fewest. And that's what we saw tonight. I mean, they're scoring chances,
yeah.
I think that's a zero high danger night.
Yeah, Rangers only put 15 shots on goal during the entire game. And, you know, kudos to Boston, I suppose, because they're a team that's gearing up for the playoffs. And I'm sure the message from their head coach, Bruce Cassidy, was start to play playoff hockey regardless of the opponent. And I think we probably saw what they would want to do come a week and a half from now.
I've been on both sides of that conversation, the team that's not going to make it and the team that's raring to go because they're trying to build something. Really what you try and do is what the Bruins accomplished. In the first 10 minutes of the game, they set the tone, and then they're saying, look, we can take our foot off the gas a little bit, and we can save ourselves physically and mentally if we're not chasing this thing. And that's what they did. They set themselves up for success. That's a team that's built to win again, and they've won, and this group has been together for nearly 15 years now. So they know what they're doing out there, and they handled business.
And the Bruins are now only 2 points back of second place Washington. They both have 3 games left, and remember, the team that finishes second gets home ice in the first round to play against the team that finishes in third. You mentioned the Bruins taking the early lead. Little more than 7 minutes in, they did that. They made it 2-0 near the end of the first period, and the common theme in both the goals was Brad Marchand assisting.
Yeah, it was boots on the ground, and it was in front of the net, and it was the hard hockey that you're going to see in playoffs. And look, Butch Cassidy is, well, we call him Butch. I played for Butch, and you know, Butch is a guy that's going to say, hey, boys, I mean, we're taking care of business in the first 10, and they were hard, they were low, they were quick, and when the puck came up top, they got it off their stick very quickly, the one-timer. And look, it's a group, again, that's very diligent with their work, and they've been together so long that they know one another, they can depend on one another, and it's Krejci and Bergeron, and Marchand is a star now, as much as I hate to say that. It's really difficult to play against the Bruins under these conditions. We've seen the Rangers come up big and beat the Bruins this year. I felt like on any given night, the Rangers this season could beat anybody, but this is a Rangers light lineup right now, so it's not really apples to apples.
And because it is a Rangers light lineup, it's difficult, really difficult for Igor Shesterkin to play in front of a lineup that doesn't have Ryan Lindgren, it doesn't have Jacob Trouba, and it doesn't have a lot of the forwards who understand what it is like to play NHL hockey against a team gearing up to play playoff NHL hockey. That said, does this night do anything for Igor Shesterkin?
I think that he can dismiss it, and it's more of a one-off. And see, his season as a whole, it couldn't have been better for me. It's a win all the way. He really proved himself to be a #1 goalie. He's proved himself to be durable, and I think I said this in the last show, the best ability is availability, and now he's available every night to play. He's been consistent. I don't even see a lot that he has to work on, but that's a difficult night for him, and the reason why is because he has to read off of new players. And a lot of people think that it's difficult for a goalie communication-wise when you introduce new people into the lineup, but really what it is a lot of the players are unpredictable because he doesn't know about their behavior. Talking about the penalty kill when people are going to jump or gapping up at the blue lines. He's had a lot of new players to read off of, and the flow of the game has changed for him.
So that said, there's always a mission statement for every game. Game 56 is in 1.5 days. It's Saturday afternoon. What's the mission statement for the same guys who just played tonight and mustered very little in terms of offensive hockey?
Well, once again, I think, look, I was in that position before, and it's still the NHL in every sense of the word, right? Everybody knows that this is a meaningless game, but it doesn't it still means something to the guys that are trying to prove that they can play at the league, at the level. And I think they have to be reminded sometimes by themselves just to make the most of this opportunity. You don't just get a game in the NHL. You know, this is a huge opportunity, and a lot of these guys are playing because of injuries. So I just hope that everybody just don't take it for granted. Just go out there and empty the tank on Saturday, and at least when you let the chips fall where they may, you can walk in with some pride and speak to your new general manager at exit meetings and maybe get some positive reinforcement for how you can build your summer.